Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Brooke Butler, live outside the Colleton County Courthouse. You've actually been watching a testimony from the Alec Murdaugh double murder trial. I've been in the courtroom all day today. We actually just braked for lunch, but this is actually the second day that Alec Murdaugh, the defendant in this murder trial, has taken the stand. Now, before court even opened this morning, there was a huge line that actually wrapped around the building. I spoke with some college students who told me they actually drove here all the way from Columbia. They got here at 5 in the morning and there were already 50 people waiting outside to get in the courthouse. So certainly a lot of eyes on this trial, a lot of people wanting to hear from Alec Murdaugh and what he has to say. Now, before I delve into everything that was said in the courtroom, it is important to note that yesterday during his testimony, Alec Murdaugh actually told a new story about where he was the night his wife and son were shot and killed. He previously had told investigators he was napping when they were down at the kennels, and Paul took this video at the kennels where you can hear three voices. Several people have testified you could hear Alec's voice in that video. Well, Alec actually admitted yesterday that that was his voice. He was with his wife and son at the kennels minutes before they were murdered. With that, I'm going to go ahead and get on into the testimony from today. First of all, Creighton Waters, the prosecutor in this case, he brought up Alec Murdaugh's financial crimes. He just kind of rehashed all of them, and Alec Murdaugh actually admitted to them. He admitted to stealing from clients, stealing from friends, stealing from family. And he also told the jury, Creighton Waters told the jury, that Murdaugh had been stealing more money leading up to the murders of his wife and son, which Murdaugh did agree to. Then Murdaugh kind of justified. He explained how he justified him stealing this money. He said he would talk to his law partners, ask them how much they thought a case was worth, how much they thought that he could make in the case. If he made more than that, that's kind of how he justified taking the extra money, he said. Now, later on, they actually talked about Murdaugh's drug addiction. He's admitted that he was addicted to opioids. He said he told the jury how many pills he took in a day. He said it could have been up to 2,000 milligrams in a day. He also talked about paranoia that he says his drug addiction caused. He said that he was, as his addiction evolved, he got paranoid. But today he said, "I didn't say I was paranoid," which contradicted his testimony from yesterday. Now, after this, there was a bit of a tense exchange in the courtroom. The prosecutors asked if Murdaugh ever reached out to anyone to tell them this new story that he told yesterday about where he was the night of the murders, being at the kennels minutes before the murders of his wife and son. Murdaugh claimed that he actually tried to, but he said he didn't have the opportunity to. He claimed he tried reaching out to Waters multiple times before he was charged with the murders of his wife and son, but said he never was given that opportunity. But prosecutors Waters pointed out that Murdaugh never brought this up on his own when talking to investigators. He said, as a prosecutor himself, this is something he really should have mentioned. Then we moved on to everything that happened the day of the murders. Murdaugh was questioned as to why he didn't, again, volunteer information that he felt investigators should have been asking, since he himself was a prosecutor, but a big moment in the courtroom today. Prosecutor Waters actually asked Murdaugh if the dogs at the kennels were acting unusual. Murdaugh said there was no one around, that the dogs did not know. He said they were acting perfectly normal. This elicited a big response in the courtroom, a lot of people gasping. After that, the judge actually, during a break, had to tell the courtroom not to react because it could potentially influence the jury in this case. But certainly a lot of testimony on this in day 24 of this murder trial. We're going to have a full recap coming up tonight at 5, 6, and 7 on WJCL 22, so be sure to stay tuned.